party people. It's halfway through 2025 already. Last time we spoke was in January when we did a live like this. So a lot's happened since then. A lot of movies and TV shows have come out. And but first, I want to talk. Thank you for being here, Marcelo. By the way,
Thank you. It was my pleasure as always.
let's jump right into it right away. And before we get to the movie and TV stuff, TV news regarding Star Trek New Worlds, we know it's coming back July 17th with a 2 episode premiere. Uh, but shortly after that, it was announced that Strange New Worlds is ending with the fifth season of only 6 episodes. So altogether, it'd be 46.
Right. I don't know how I feel about this because I have a love and hate relationship with Strange New Worlds. Because at first, I really, really thought that it was going to be paying homage to the original series, but updating it for the modern audience. But I found the first season of Strange New Worlds to be um, really, 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 really inconsistent with the tone. In other words, the writers and the brainchilds behind Strange New Worlds wanted to have their cake and eat it too. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that, but as a viewer, as a viewer of Star Trek who is also a writer, I wanted the show to have some sort of consistency. Um, with that being said, I did appreciate the show's lighter tone to the other compared to the other versions of Star Trek that we've gotten in the Kurtzman era, most notably Star Trek Discovery. But with that being said, going into the final season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I just want them to have a whole lot of fun and basically to throw caution to the wind because now that I know I'm getting that type of Star Trek out of them and out of that camp in specific, in specific, in specific, I can brace myself for it, and I'm not going to be mad about it. However, I did feel that it was a mistake in the trailers for Stranger World season 3 to reveal that Captain Patel survived the the Gorn attack at the end of season 2. I thought that was a really, really, really big mistake by them.
Yeah, I mean, some you could say like maybe she's in some flashback or a dream or something, but it seems like she's in the second episode, the wedding episode of season 3. Won't give any. I don't know anything about it. I just know it's a wedding episode and it's involves Ortega's brother and stuff like that. She appears to be toasting with the other people in that episode. So that doesn't seem like it's a dream, or it seems like yes, they're just giving it away that she survived. Yeah, it's taken some of the. It's a bit spoilery, but what I've heard about season 3, just more the same of season 2. I think they're taking bigger swings every season, for better or for worse. It all depends on who you are. Uh, I like the more serious episodes of season 2. I like episode 2 and 8 are like the best ones in my opinion. Season 1 I find was a little more consistent than season 2. I think it's a better season because I recently rewatched the last 20 episodes over like a 2 month period, not like binged it or anything, just kind of watched one or two every day, and maybe I skipped a day or something. But season 1 I found I liked a lot more than I originally liked. But season 2, man, it just gets it's that you were talking about a tonal imbalance. It really shows in season 2 because they're serious and then they're funny and goofy. And Spock, while I like his Ethan Peck, and I like the actors that play these legendary characters, but it's always going to be Shatner and Nimoy to me. And Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers were talking at the Tribeca Film Festival on June 14th about where the show might go afterwards. And I just want to just to be clear, I just want to bring up the quote. Share screen. I'm learning. See.
You're learning live. You're like, fuck it, we'll do it live.
This is from TrekMovie.com. They're talking about. This is an interview from the Tribeca Film Festival. Picking up on what Henry said about how the characters' stories aren't ending, Goldsman teased that they could end the show only to keep going with something new. Akiva Goldsman. Uh, and then we run into TOS, switching to a conspiratorial tone, but they're not dying, and we have those sets. Now, this set off like a chain reaction of reactions online, I think. I'm just really familiar with the YouTube reactions. Are they going to remake TOS? And it says Goldsman is suggesting the story of these characters could continue with which potentially could be a new series set during James T. Kirk's 5-year mission on the Enterprise and blippity boppity. Just it's nonsense. I was just gonna say it's fucking nonsense. For one thing, I don't think Paramount's ever gonna be like, why would we spend money remaking a show that already exists, which I know they've done before. They've rebooted like Battlestar Galactica, for example. They redid it. Like it wasn't a continuation of that show. But Battlestar Galactica 1980 was, and that's another subject altogether. But anyway, it's like, why would you do it when in just 10 years, in less than 10 years, like it'll be like fucking Star Trek, except without the holodeck, it'll just be like on your screen where you can just say to your computer, uh, remake Balance of Terror, but like as if it was a 60s movie with production values equal to that time with this like such and such a budget. And what would that, and AI would just do it anyway. Don't remake things anymore. Remaking things is going to be like the most useless thing in 10 years because the AI
Yeah,
is going to
look,
just do it anyway. I mean, it
yeah,
really
listen.
will.
Yeah,
Like
look,
if you
my
look how much has advanced in just a few years. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. My 2 cents is that Akiva Goldsman and Henry Alonso Myers are operating from a sense of wish fulfillment. I don't think that Paramount or Paramount Global is going to invest money back into Star Trek to do a series over again like TOS. So I definitely agree with you, PJ, on the point that you just made. But with that being said, no, no, it's a total waste of money and time. It's a total waste of money and time.
Now, they're if they're interested in doing TV streaming movies or something remaking something from the original series, I'd still say no. But if you want to fill in the gap between what we didn't see in TOS, between the end of Strange New Worlds and the beginning of TOS, because it's not, I don't think Strange New Worlds is going to end leading right. I think they might actually do it, but it's going to be so corny because it'll take away from Pike. Because I think they're sidelining him, and they seem to be doing that more and more every season, where they're like, well, everybody wanted the Pike show, but let's bring in Kirk and like bring him in more and more. So like he was in season one once or twice, I think, and then in maybe it was just once, and I know
Yeah,
he was in season two like 2 or 3 times.
yeah, yeah. That
So
was my
season three is probably going to be around a lot more, and the trailer gives it away. He takes command. We're going to see his first command of the Enterprise, like the very first. I didn't think they use him so much, but I don't mind this guy as him as Kirk. He's fine. And if they want to make something where they fill in some gap, do that. Fill in gaps. Don't remake what's already been done. It's just like such a waste of money, and they'll regret it in 10 years. Trust me. They'll be like, "Fuck, Jesus, we need to keep making newer stories, even if there are stop doing the prequels." By the way, I would rather they not even keep going in the TOS era. Just abandon that. Your next
yeah.
thing is Starfleet Academy. Basically, what's happening is it's the end of the Kurtzman Phase 1 era. Starfleet Academy is Phase 2.
Okay.
It'll probably go concurrently with the last 2 seasons of but it'll probably keep going. Worst case scenario, they come to him and say, "We're going to wrap it up after season 3, an abbreviated season 3 for Starfleet Academy." Then you might have to speculate that they might be shutting him down or not negotiating another contract for Kurtzman, which his contract is up like next year or something. And obviously, they're going to give him some kind of extension or renewal because he has 5 more seasons to go. I mean, people are like, some people on the internet like to say like it's the end of Kurtzman. No, it's just this end of phase 1. It's going into phase 2 now. We're straight. I'll let you in a second, but I just want to say that Strange New Worlds is like the end of. It was the last of the 5. You had Discovery, Lower Decks, Picard, Prodigy, Strange New Worlds. All at one time were like pretty close together, like new episodes. So like when one was finished, just a couple of years ago, dude, it was like when one show was finished, another show was starting up. But now they're like, oh, too money, not enough eyeballs. So Strange New Worlds is doing well enough, but not well enough to keep going. And it is strange that they announced that they're ending it before the 3rd season even. That's a weird decision. I would keep that close to the vest. Just say you're filming season 5, and that way you'll just give people the, oh well, they're churning them out so we can get a yearly season as opposed to a 2-year gap or something like that. Anyway,
No, listen, I think that you're right on the money with the possibility of there being a Kurtzman phase 2 after this era of Star Trek ends with Stranger Worlds and Starfleet Academy being the start of that. I heard that they actually filmed Star Trek seasons 4 and 5 almost together. So I think they're going to start shooting the final season of Stranger Worlds in a couple months if they haven't started post on it already. But listen.
or pre-production, you mean?
Yeah, I'm
Pre-production.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
They
Pre-production
are
stuff.
filming it.
Okay.
They are filming it at toward the end of the year. Yes, that has been confirmed.
Yes, yes. But I
I don't think
really,
they're. I
really
think they would be at this stage. They would be writing it now because they're filming the 4th season now, and
right.
I would guess writing the last 6 episodes, which put some effort into those ones, guys. Make them the best ones at least. Come on now, like
Yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
mess around.
Yeah.
Don't have another Spock body swap comedy, like or like Spock's an owl now. I like, come on, guys. What are you doing?
Oh my god, that's funny. Um,
They've
but
done
you know,
they've done
to your
stranger things.
yeah, yeah. But to your point, I do think that we have had a somewhat embarrassment of riches with the Kurtzman era, in that for the most part, taking away Strange New Worlds' production pipeline, uh, Star Trek fans in this era have been conditioned to have Star Trek on all the time, and I do think that played somewhat of an effect of I do think that mantra played somewhat an effect on the fan base now understanding that the Kurtzman era is going to ultimately slow down and perhaps come to a complete stop. But who knows? We uh, uh,
Um,
you never know what you're going to get.
perhaps a few years down the road, maybe, but not anytime
Yeah.
soon. And this
Mhm.
Paramount Skydance merger, which is supposed to be resolved next month sometime, will also give us an indication of like what will happen. But those effects will be felt years down the road. It's not like anything that's going to be immediate. The immediate
No.
thing now is that they're in production on 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons of Star Trek currently. 2 of Strange New Worlds, filming the 4th season and writing the 5th, and Starfleet Academy, which has already filmed its 1st season. And I don't even, I would assume it's going into its 2nd season, but that's got to be the most expensive one because apparently Discovery was like 64 episodes or something like that. You're never going to get a Star Trek property that's going to last 64 episodes. It used to be like 100 and something or whatever, 200. Shows had a lot of episodes. I'm rewatching the X-Files, and you'll notice with those older shows that, yeah, it's good. It's good as you remember, but there's a lot of filler and a lot of bottle episodes. And you can see the cost cutting in a lot of these areas. And it's like, you see one episode with some pretty impressive special effects. Like, man, they were hurting to take a big chunk of their budget to do that. Like, but nowadays shows are just expensive. That, like, Starfleet Academy has the biggest set ever constructed for. So like, now that you've already gone into the 32nd century, let's end the TOS era remake thing with Strange New Worlds. No TOS continuation. Move on. And guess what? Jerry Ryan, post Picard show that didn't involve the legacy concept of her being captain, I suppose, of the Enterprise G or F. What is it now? G? Enterprise G?
Enterprise G. Enterprise G.
So she turned it down because it wasn't she didn't think it was a good fit for her. I don't know what it was, but I would assume it was probably having to do with the Fenris Rangers. And they're like, let's have her do a Fenris Rangers show. And my cat's like pacing around. He wants to get up on my lap, but like he knows he can't because I'm like cramped here.
Right.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Come up,
yeah.
come up on my
No, your
shoulders.
cat's on the other side. Your cat's on the
Oh
other
my
side.
god.
No. I listen. You are, preaching to the choir, PJ. I really, really think that Star Trek should be going forward instead of reaching back to the past to get nostalgia from a fan base that's obviously getting older rather than younger. But that's not discounting the many fans that came out of the Kurtzman era, like myself and so many others. But I do think that some very, very interesting things are going to happen with the Star Trek property in the future. What they are, I have no idea, but I do have speculations and thoughts.
I need to apologize for what I'm about to do, but since we've never talked about it live, and it's
Sure,
almost a forgotten relic in time because it was so terrible. And
sure.
you know what? I think you're gonna guess what I'm talking about. I thought this made for TV movie that came out January of this year. I thought it was like bad, but I didn't expect so many people who are on board with modern Trek like wholeheartedly
Oh,
to be like, no, 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 no. This is this is actually it. You wasted a wonderful actress on this role. I don't Michelle Yeoh, I love that she loves what she's doing and stuff, but it's just so sad to see such a legend in such a terrible thing as Section 31, which was Star Trek's first made for TV movie, and it was ass. And the more I think about it, and the time has passed, it's been 6 months. It's like, wow. It's almost
wow.
unwatchable. I tried to rewatch it. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah,
I can't
PJ.
do it.
Yeah, PJ. Little secret. I've only made it through 30 minutes. I only made it through 30 minutes of the film because I couldn't take it. I think Section 31.
You didn't
Look,
see the whole movie?
nope, I couldn't take it. No,
Wow. Are you serious?
yeah, I couldn't take it. I was like, nope, no, no, no.
I don't blame you.
Sec,
I walked out of Mortal Kombat Annihilation in 1997. I feel you.
yeah. Section 31. Section 31 is Star Trek trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's basically Star Trek in a Guardians of the Galaxy rap flavor. Now, listen, that's not an affront to anybody who liked the movie. If you like the movie, I'm happy for you. I'm glad. I'm glad that you did that. I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but for me personally, Star Trek 31, Star Trek Section 31 was a big wolf moment. It felt like a movie that Kurtzman and his team were trying to get out for years, which they were because originally it was supposed to be a TV show, and it felt like a movie that they had to do just to get it off the books, because it
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 seemed,
was
or a backdoor pilot. Like they thought, I think they genuinely thought like, oh, this could be a good pilot for like a TV movie pilot for a TV show because
right.
people are gonna like this. And I think they genuinely have. I don't think the people who make the cat's like up and down, up and down. uh, I think they genuinely meant to. They always mean to make good stuff, but people just
Yeah.
have this belief that they hate Trek and they want to do everything
No,
that's not. I'm like, I think
no.
they're trying. I think they just keep messing up. It's very
Yeah,
difficult,
yeah.
and sometimes I think the right people aren't involved, the right writers and whatnot. I think the directors of modern Trek and the look of
Oh,
it and the production value and the costumes and stuff are always pretty good. But I always look at it as a reimagined universe. I can't reconcile it with previously established Trek. I don't need to. I can watch it. I
no, you
can take
don't.
it in any way I want to. So I see it as a
Yeah.
visual reboot, and people have been arguing that for years since Discovery. People are like, no, it's not. It's true to canon. I'm like, you don't get what I'm saying though. I understand it's Prime Universe. I'm not arguing. I'm not one of these people who says it's secretly Kelvin or something like that. And there are people out there like always trying to say because of that, like in Strange New Worlds, for example, Marcelo, they say Khan at a different age now, and the Romulan in that episode talks about like this was supposed to happen in the 90s to try to reconcile that canon issue, and it's like Star Trek's been doing that for years. There's always been contradictions, and like they never get it right unless somebody with encyclopedic knowledge is at the helm, and that's not happened.
Nope.
Like I don't know if Ronald D. Moore came back or like some of
That'll
these
be
people involved in older
that,
Trek could do better. I
that'll be
don't know,
yeah.
but they're
Yeah,
doing pretty
that'll
good
be
with their other shows.
yeah.
So
That would be really interesting if Ronald D. Moore would come back to do a Star Trek show in the current new era. Ronald D. Moore was on a podcast with Katie Sackhoff not recently, and Katie Sackhoff actually posed this question to him, and he's actually open to doing it. Look, he's not gonna be able, like if he was to actually doing it, it's not gonna be like for eons because he's doing the God of War TV show um for Prime Video.
it's
But
crazy, isn't it? It's like,
yeah, yeah, it's absolutely
wow,
crazy.
Ronald D. Moore, God of War TV show.
Yeah, that's gonna be lit. And also, he has responsibilities for All Mankind and Outlander, and it's maybe its subsequent spin-offs as well. But um, I I really, really, really think that a writer from 90s Star Trek would probably bring back the sensibilities that you and I and a lot of other Trek fans are missing. That are no, that are almost nowhere to be found in the Kurtzman era of Star Trek.
I was just looking up. Sorry, I was paying attention, but I was just trying to see like is the show God of War filming or like did they cast anybody? But it's just like the Ronald D. Moore 2024 article came up.
Right.
Yes, I mean it's time to move on from that TOS stuff. I know
Yeah.
we everybody wanted there's like Strange New Worlds, give it to us. They didn't say Strange New Worlds. They said Pike series because what they do is, and I've said this before, in Discovery, like, oh no, Burnham's gonna stand on her own and her crew's gonna stand on. Yeah, she's Spock's adoptive sister, but we're not gonna involve Pike and Spock. Come on, guys. Boom, second season. Spike and Puck. Uh,
Spike and fuck.
and he's got the
Look,
beard, and he's like, sister, I'm gonna fucking insult you this whole season, and then at the end, I'm gonna look at you and cry and say you did everything to shape who I am, and it's gonna be a weird tonal shift. I don't know, like Discovery gets really over emotional on lens flary, and that combination is extremely irritating to me.
yeah,
But I don't know. In some ways, season two was a bigger, bolder, expensive looking show, but they really mucked it up with like so much lens flare. I mean, God, they really overdid it. They learned in season 3 and 4, like to
yeah, they
tone that
did.
down. And
They did.
Star Trek now, like Strange New Worlds, is shot very well. I'll give it that.
Yes,
Like, come
very,
on
very
now.
well.
And
Yeah,
and Benga
no,
is my favorite character. Who's your favorite character?
uh, I would have to say it's a tie between Chapel and number one. Like my favorite two episodes of Strange New Worlds is Ad Astra Asperata, the
Uh,
drumhead episode. I can
Ad
never say it.
Astra per Aspera,
Ad Astra Peraspera. That's uh uh
season 2, episode 2.
yes, season two, episode two. And I'm a really, really big fan of the episode where Mbanga and Chapel you had that flashback to them actually serving in the Klingon War, and you actually get to see them on the ground and what they had to go through. I think it's a great, great, great um, episode. But also, I'm hoping that I'll get some all. I'm hoping that I can add on to that list with the new season coming out. But time will tell for with that for sure.
Yeah, I originally said like I don't want to watch the third season until it's all like said and done. But
Mhm.
since I'm getting Paramount for Dexter, we'll let's talk about the Dexterverse after. But let's talk about the movies of 2025. The first big one, I guess, in my opinion, would have been Captain America: Brave New World. Have you seen it?
Yeah. Yes, I have. Uh, it was fine.
Now we're going to talk
It
about
was
various
something.
movies. Let's try to keep it relatively spoiler free,
Yeah.
because I don't know what you've seen that I haven't seen, and vice versa. I have
Yeah.
also seen it. I watched it on Disney Plus.
Mhm.
I'm glad I waited, uh,
Yeah.
because it is like I'm even watching Thunderbolts now. Not Thunderbolts. Ironheart now, and it's like everything in the Marvel TV verse and movie verse is at this like mid level where it's like
Yeah. It's
okay,
mid.
but it's not nearly as entertaining or as engaging as the
Right.
first few phases. Basically,
Hmm.
when Endgame was done, I was like, well, how are they gonna do it now? It's gonna be a whole new thing now, is it? And they did attempt a whole new thing with new characters and a couple of sequels here and there to more minor characters, but like Captain America and Iron Man were gone, and Thor was really the only one sticking around, and Hulk became like not really Hulk anymore and stuff like that. So Captain America comes along, and it's Sam Wilson as Captain America, which is fine, but I felt this movie was okay. It's pretty okay. I was entertained, but what it felt like to me was a streaming movie continuation of the Captain America Winter Soldier TV show. And that if you only went by the movies, you'd be kind of lost on like what's been happening. That's the thing. You're required to do homework for these movies now. It's like, all right, I'm willing to do the homework as long as you make the movies big and fucking
Yeah.
like really good. But now they're
Big
just
and
like
bold, right?
expensive TV movies.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like an insult, but I mean they do cost a lot of money. I think they had
Yeah.
to
Listen.
reshoot this movie.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yeah. Because I think the reshoots for this movie came in after Bob Chapek took a fucking well
Had
deserved
a
golden
conniption.
parachute and fucked off. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but I think that the MCU was under the false impression that everyone was going to accept Sam Wilson as Captain America. Captain America to me is Steve Rogers. Captain America doesn't deserve to be a moniker, right? And I yeah, it just didn't work the way it was supposed to work. I mean, what they did with the leader, and his whole big plot and how he executed it is like so dumb. Why would you like?
Yeah, weak,
Yeah,
uninteresting villain. A climax that they just blatantly showed in the it was like
yeah,
one of these things where like the trailer just showed you the absolute height of the movie
mhm,
just to sell it, and it's like when you get to that point, you're like, well, I've seen clips of this. I've seen almost all of the climax of this movie in its entirety through clips and
right.
trailers. Which I'm like trying to get out of the habit of watching too many trailers, but I've seen too much of Superman right now. I gotta stop. Uh, Thunderbolts,
Yeah.
better, but not too much better.
Look, I really, really, really appreciate the the road that this film took, because it it took um it took a turn that I wasn't expecting. Like the the resolution to this film turned out to be talking about the superhero's mental health, and addressing and addressing trauma, and addressing abuse. I thought that was a really, really, really interesting way to take the film. Uh, this movie actually felt like, to me, it felt like old Marvel to me, not top tier old Marvel, but maybe around Doctor Strange.
In the
Uh,
better
uh,
half of all the movies, you would say. Like,
thank 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 you, in the better half of all the movies. So I think that you and I are going to be on separate ends uh, uh, with this with our take on this movie.
yeah, it's I like Julie Louis Dreyfus. I like the fact that they delve into this like dream. I don't want to give anything away, but they get into kind of some kind of like Nightmare on Elm Street like scenarios, and I think they could have went like further with that. But by the time you reach the climax of that film, there's so much setup. Like the film goes by pretty quick, but like when you
Mhm.
get to the big climax, it's like, oh, it's almost over. Wow, I could have used more of the more deeper stuff that they explored in the end and stuff like that. But yeah, it's it's like
Yeah,
these
yeah.
movies feel like they should be series, and they make the like Captain Captain America, Brave New World. It feels like there should have been a 6 part series on Disney Plus, and Thunderbolts seems like something that could have been cut down. But they need the movies. They need to put the movies in there. I think it's going to get better because we're getting Spider Man and Avengers next year.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna,
it's
yeah.
gonna be more exciting than it is now. Fantastic Four, I keep forgetting about that one. Yeah,
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's right
yeah,
around.
it's
It's
coming. It's coming.
almost right around the corner.
So, uh, Final Destination Bloodlines. Are you a fan of this franchise?
Uh, I love the Final Destination franchise, but the Final Destination franchise for me stopped after uh Final Destination 2. But I've heard that this film is really, really good. I definitely want to give it a watch at some point in the near future. But I unfortunately haven't seen this one.
Won't spoil anything, so it is no better or no worse than anything that came after the third one. I think the first
Right,
three are the best ones,
right.
and they kind of they're just really well done. And then it gets a little too goofy and not as creative toward the end. This brings back, or like this emphasizes the comedy of those situations a little more than others have, and it involves this bloodlines thing. It has a really good opening. I gotta say that with the tower,
Yeah.
there's a tower thing, and I won't say what happens.
Okay.
But anyway, it connects to something years, decades down the line, and it involves anybody who was a descendant of the survivors being targeted by death. And the only complaint I would say is that they really go overboard with the like everything looks like CG splatter.
Huh.
It's just, I mean, people get crushed and heads get crushed, and it's like gruesome. Yes, it's pretty gory, but it looks so fake. It doesn't look. I think they do things practically in the movie. Obviously, they have to, and they do
Mhm.
some trick some psych outs where it's like you think something really bad's gonna happen. It's like, oh no, that guy's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, like
Um,
all this setup, and it's like they actually like pull one on you, and they're like, no, he's okay.
the one sequence that I'm really, really excited to see is the opening sequence on this big spiral glass tower thing. I think that I think that opening teases promise. But I'm glad to hear that the film is no worse. I'm glad to hear that the film is not worse or not better than the first three, because I really like the first three. I remember the roller coaster from part three. I remember the girls frying in the
Oh
tanning
God, in the
beds.
tanning bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
The LASIK
And
eye surgery from the fourth, I think
oh
it's the fourth one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. The fourth one didn't it have like a NASCAR race where a bunch of people got killed on the track actually?
I believe that is the fourth one. Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
it's been a
yeah.
while.
But you know,
I've seen the first three recently, but not the ones after.
mhm.
Although there is one that you can't. It's an old movie, but if you didn't know the ending, it would there's a twist. You know which one I'm talking about? There's a twist at the end that sets the movie in a different time than what you thought. You're like suspiciously throughout this. I think it's the fifth one. I'm pretty sure it's the fifth one. We're like, wow, nobody's using cell phones, and like there doesn't seem to be
Okay.
modern technology anywhere. If you know
Well,
it if you know the twist going into it, and then the end of the movie reveals that like something. By the
oh,
way,
cool.
rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Right, right. This was
Wonderful, amazing actor. This was like one of his final roles, if not his final role that he filmed. He was
right, right.
pretty. He looked pretty thin
Got
in this movie,
right.
and his voice was kind of weak and stuff. And
Hmm.
yeah, it was like it hit you in the heart seeing him in the movie. He's
Yeah.
a cameo.
I
It's
listen.
like in
Yeah,
every
yeah.
other one.
Listen. Yeah, listen. I'm a big fan of Sweeney Todd from back in the day for Candyman, The Rock. But you know, I'm excited to check out this film, so I will definitely check it out. And you know, I hope it is as good as everybody's saying.
Well, if you like dancing, you'll like Dancing with Guns. It's called Ballerina.
I
Have you
really, 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 you know,
you've
I
seen
did
it?
see that.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Um, I I I think Ballerina was a lot of fun. You could definitely see where they reshot a bunch of stuff because there's this one moment in the film where Ballerina is going through a nightclub, and in front of her she's got, you know, hordes of dead guys, and she keeps picking out knives from their bodies before taking a nearby elevator and going upstairs and exiting the building. And I'm like, why didn't we see that? So to me, that was the cut of the movie where uh, Len Wiseman was replaced and Chad Stahelski came in and added all, added more of John Wick, added everything in the snowy Alps with the with the main villain that Ballerina is going up against. But
Gabriel
you know,
Byrne, played by Gabriel Byrne, I believe his name is.
thank you, Gabriel Byrne. But yeah, Ballerina was a six. It was good, um, but it it didn't quite get there for me all the way because of the things that I just mentioned with the production issues and stuff like that.
It is your standard revenge flick.
Right.
It is like John Wick, but not as good as John Wick. Yes, John Wick is in the movie for more than a few minutes, uh, and but he's not the focus. She is the focus. Angelica Houston plays a role in it too as her
So-
mentor. Anna de Armas is really good. I could
mhm.
watch her read the phone book.
Yeah, she's
It's
great.
just, and she's a great physical actress. Like
Hmm.
she's so cool. Like obviously, there's
Yeah.
obvious shots where there's got to be a stunt person because like she's getting she's getting hurt,
Nailed. Yeah.
and it's that John Wick logic of how is this person surviving it? Oh well, it's the John Wick verse. John Wick in the course of like 2 days gets shot, stabbed several times, and I think by the next day falls off a building.
Yeah.
In the fourth one, he's back up. Or by this
Yeah.
one, this takes. It's funny because this takes place not long after John Wick has fallen off a building. I
Yep.
think it's between the third and fourth one. It has to
Yes.
be because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
At
No.
one
No.
point,
And
he
the
gets his
other.
finger cut off. I didn't see the finger. I don't know. Anyway, go ahead. There is a
Yeah. The
scene
other.
that I think they recreate from one of the movies, but I couldn't remember.
No. They recreate the scene where John Wick goes to
It's branded.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and he actually and he a- and he actually asked for packet asked for passage to Casablanca. And that's where they sort of insert the new scenes with Ballerina having a meeting with John Wick after that happens.
Yeah,
Um,
he shows up in a flashback, and then later is I don't want to spoil it, but yeah,
sorry.
he fights her and helps her, which I guess you could kind of glean that from the trailer, but I think anybody going into it shouldn't expect a John Wick movie. It really is a spin-off. I mean, it is focused on her. She's good. It's just it's a standard revenge flick. It's kind of like the John Wick sequels, but not as creative. Like there are good fights, and it is action freaking packed. There's nary a dull moment. So there you go. It's fun.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah, it's
okay.
a
It's not the
lot of fun.
best. I'm really not interested in the sequel, although I wouldn't mind if they brought John Wick back from the dead again. That she should be in it with him side by side. That would be fucking awesome. I'd love to
That'd
see her again. I'm just not
that'd be
interested
really
in
cool.
Ballerina 2. That's all.
That'd be really cool if Ana de Armas came back
Ballerina
and
2 Dance Harder. Uh,
yeah.
have you seen Companion with Jack Quaid?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Now, this is a
Uh,
movie we're going to skip over real quick, and we got to be really
yeah.
vague about it because if you don't know anything going into it, it's fucking good because you're like, what's going on with this couple? It's like something's going on. Something's going on. And then the guy who comes onto her and then she reacts to that guy. I can't say much, but it's like, and then it becomes another movie. And it's like, oh, I kind of knew it was something. Like I guessed who she was, this his girlfriend, and like what she's
Mhm,
about.
mhm.
But it really is one of the, it is in my top like 5 of the year so far. It's pretty good.
Yeah, companion to me was an interesting concept, and I will say that it was fun. But I'm trying not to bury the lead here. Um, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, I'm trying to make up for my pure evisceration of the ballerina plot a couple of moments ago. So I will say that companion was fun and it had an interesting premise. I will say that much.
Let's go into this one. I know you're
Oh,
going to
you
be
had to
interested
do
in
it to me,
this.
Peter. You just had to
The
do it.
last the last Mission Impossible movie they're ever going to make, at least for the budget that they did, because they ain't making no money off this
Oh.
franchise anymore, despite Tom Cruise's stunt shenanigans, which is great. I like this movie, but can we? I just want to get out my complaints real quick before I let you go into it because I know you have some complaints of your own, and they probably are the same or similar. This movie is so like masturbatory in its franchise uh, love of itself. It's so self-loving where it's like, we'll not only show clips of the previous movies, we'll show the same fucking clips over and over again. Like the clip from the first movie where he's hovering above the that's
Yeah.
shown I think 3 times. Maybe I'm making it up in my head, but I counted more than once.
Mm,
Hmm. Because the movie opens with a recap like it was a TV show. And I'm like, you're already cheapening this fucking thing. I saw the last one. You don't
yeah.
have to tell me not only what happened in the franchise, anybody going into the movie, but not only that, they keep repeating information that they've already said as if
Mm,
the audience forgot what happened 15 fucking minutes ago. So all of that sucks. However, anytime there's action or like the last 2 set pieces, dude, some of the best in the franchise. There's some water stuff. That's all I'll say. And there's some sky stuff. Water, sky. At the end, I'm like, wow, you gave me 2 really fucking awesome. That was worth the price of admission. For all the bullshit you got to put up with the movie, on spoon feeding the audience the lore and the plot and AI is this, and the entity is this. Yes, we know. And they're just in rooms fucking debating the entity. And it's like, get to the action already. This movie's too long. You say the information once, skip ahead in the scene where everybody in the room already fucking got it explained to them, so we get past the well. Listen, they try to do that in some parts with Hannah Waddington's character as the military woman. They kind of skip over the whole explanation. I'm like, yes, that's what you should do every time now. And they got the president and her army guy, like, it's like, okay, we know.
Yeah,
And at the
yeah,
end, you got to hit
yeah.
it the split set. It's a typical climax of one of these movies, which is good. Well, I like that part. I like that part. It's just, if you just got to the fucking good stuff faster, Rogue Nation parts 4, 5, and 6. What was 4 called? Ghost Protocol, Rogue
Ghost
Nation,
Protocol.
and Fallout. And
Mhm.
Fallout are they're the best 3. They're like
Mhm.
the ultimate
Yep.
Mission Impossible trilogy. Nothing gets better than it. So like, what
Do you
can you
want to
do?
know what? Do you want to know why those movies worked? Because it was about the team, and I really, really, really think that McHugh and Tom Cruise, like PJ said, this movie is like really, really masturbatory. They were so afraid of trusting the audience for the story that they were going to tell. They treated the audience like they were fucking 2-year-olds by basically repeating the same information again and again and again and again and again. And listen, guys, stop with the fucking cliff show. Just stop it. Just stop it. It's not necessary. If you want to reference the previous Mission Impossible movies, fine, you can do that. But don't give us a goddamn clip show every fucking 5 minutes. Like I could have cut out maybe 30 minutes of of the first hour of this movie and still had a cohesive movie in the last 2 hours. Like
It felt
I
like they were trying too hard to put a bow on it to say like this is the end,
yeah,
with the clip shows and stuff. The one time it could have used a clip, like the one time in the movie, is when you see the guy with the glasses who, if you watched the movie, you would recognize, but for somebody who didn't know, show the clip of he's the guy in the on the computer from the first movie where Tom Cruise comes down on the thing. Then
right,
audience be like, okay, I get it, because even if I didn't see the movie, I know that iconic scene.
right.
That's an instance where like it worked, and you're like, oh, by the way, I loved his Inuit wife. She was one of the best parts of the movie. Like finally, something to break the tension, some comic relief.
Yeah.
She
No,
goes
I no, but
with
I'm sorry, go ahead.
what's the Kate Beckinsale? Not Kate Beckinsale.
Uh
Oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? Holy shit!
oh my
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. I
Haley
can't believe
Haley
Haley
Atwell.
Atwell.
Yeah, Haley
Yeah,
Atwell,
oh
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, look, and I thought that
she was good.
for the villain for this film in Gabriel was so fucking um
He's a pawn. He was
yeah,
nothing more than a pawn. Yeah.
it's like a
The
little
main
worm.
villain
He's
is a
like a little
faceless,
worm.
uninteresting entity, and it's like, okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not as good as the villain in 4 or 5, really before this one.
No,
It
I
has the
know,
weakest
no, yeah.
villain, I think.
No, and for me, this movie was a really, really big disappointment because Mission Impossible is the film that, when I was a little kid, made me want to be a storyteller. So to see a franchise that has been around my entire life possibly end on a note like this, it was very frustrating.
I will never understand the plot of the first movie. No.
I'm sorry?
Every time I watch it, I'm like, what are they talking about? Oh yeah, the thing. Oh yeah, and John Voight's the guy. And they do this thing where
Oh, oh, from the
I
Nazis.
can't give it away too much. They try to connect and
Oh,
retcon, I think 1 and
oh, that's
3,
so dumb.
where they're
I
like,
mean, oh,
where like
oh,
the
oh,
thing from the third movie was
no,
not really
no,
the thing you
no, no,
thought
no,
it
no, no,
was,
no,
and
no,
it's
no,
like,
no,
come
no,
on, guys,
no, no.
it's like
As somebody
convoluted.
who as somebody who in as somebody who loves the third movie for so many reasons, because JJ Bob Orsi, may he rest in peace, and our friend Alex Kurtzman, right? If they wanted to connect an element from
I
the
like how you
third,
said our friend.
our friend
Go
Alex
ahead.
Kurtzman, if if they wanted to connect something from the third movie, that something should have been put to better use. But the fact that that one little thing basically encases the well, fuck it, I don't care. The entity of this movie really pissed me off. That thing should have killed it.
Mm.
Like, god damn it.
It's it's funny how AI is now a real thing that we have to deal
Yeah.
with. It's like, wow,
It's
the
kind of scary,
singularity
isn't it?
might actually happen. Something I thought
Yeah.
was just science fiction bullshit. It's like the machines are going to turn against us, and that's a real possibility. It's like, well,
Now,
it's
yeah.
good knowing everybody.
Yep.
Um,
See you next fall.
have you seen How to Train Your Dragon?
No, I have not. I'm not I am not an animated guy, but I've heard that this movie's good.
Dude, I'll
So
be brief. The movie is okay. It's pretty fun actually. It's
okay.
it's in that it's in that like it's in the logic of a cartoon live action crossover where like the live action people are doing certain things that maybe only a cartoon character. You know what I mean? It's like it blurs that line. It's
Right,
not
right,
trying to be grounded or anything. It's pretty much a copy of almost a shot for shot copy of the animated movie, and people have said, "Oh well, that's useless." And it's like I kind of agree because yes, you can. You're going to be asking AI to do this anyway in a couple of years. So if they ever do a live action sequel, I should think they should deviate from the original course that they took with the animated movies to make it fresh.
right. Hmm.
Just a word of advice. It did make us. It's fun. It's fine. It's
Yeah,
I saw it
yeah.
on just out of boredom. I was like, I'll just go in and see it.
Just set
I
up
was like,
boredom.
all right,
Okay.
it's all right. There's a lot of people in there.
Mm.
Um, what movies have come out recently? Oh yeah, by the
Um,
way, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I did see that Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up,
Oh,
and that
I
was
yeah yeah
that
yeah
was
yeah. I still
that was
gotta
interesting.
I still gotta see that. Yeah.
And The Accountant too, yeah,
Actually, I saw
which was
that
all right.
without seeing the original film, and I thought it was fun. Um, John Berthal and Ben Affleck have a great chemistry, and it actually made me want to go back and see um, the original film.
And Snow White came on Disney Plus, and I was like, I think I fell asleep halfway through, and I
Dude,
was like, it is so boring, so
dude,
boring.
I tried, but I just couldn't. I was like,
Oh god damn!
I
I was like,
couldn't.
why am
I
I? You ask yourself why. It's just a curiosity. You're like watching it. It's like, okay, no one. I just watch it. I'll just see what the big idea is. And
right,
it's not. It sucks.
yeah.
I didn't see the whole thing, so I don't know how it ends. But oh god, Gal Gadot. Wow, not good. Didn't see Lilo
Yeah.
and Stitch. Not interested in that stuff.
I didn't see that either.
Karate Kid Legends. I'll watch that when it comes on streaming. Not
Yeah,
really interested.
nope.
Predator Killer of Killers. I did watch the first segment. It's an anthology. It was fine.
Okay, I I heard that's good. I've heard that's good.
Uh,
Uh,
28 years later, was going to go in to
I'm
see that, and I saw Ballerina instead, and I'm glad because I'm not in the mood for zombie movies right now. Just
yeah
not right
yeah
now.
yeah. I'm gonna wait for 20 years later because I don't want to get motion sickness. I have a very interesting love and hate relationship in it with Danny Boyle. I think he's a really good director, but it takes a while to get used to his style and his very handheld, camera distorted style. Yeah.
I've seen clips of it, and where like Jake scenes and stuff, and I'm like, wow, the camera, oh, yeah, it's too much. It's
Mhm.
and I 28 weeks later and 28 days later, I'm not a fan of the. It really sickens me to see the blood vomit that they do in those movies, which is like
Uh-huh.
a little over the top in some parts, like that.
Mhm.
Ugh, just vomiting blood. It just looks.
Right.
I'd
It's
rather
gross.
see vomit than the blood.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, that's gross. F1 and Megan 2 came out this month, and not really that interested. But before we go, let's just talk about what's coming out. Oh yeah, TV shows too. We can get into that. But
Yeah.
Jurassic World Rebirth is the next thing coming out.
Yeah. I'm
July
gonna
is
go
going to
see
be a
that.
big month.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go see Jurassic World tomorrow. I've heard not so many. I've heard things that haven't made me excited for the movie, but I I reserve my opinion for when I actually step into the movie.
Yeah, it's like if you're not if you got to go in with just wanting dinosaur schlop, and they can make these movies the way they do, where it's like even the first movie, Cisco Labor, I think, or like some
Mhm.
critics were like, yeah, the human characters and the human stories aren't interesting. And now we look back on that with like fondness, like, God, we love Jeff Goldblum's character and Laura Dern's character and Sam Neill's character. They were interesting, but
Yeah.
critics were like, ah, they ain't shit back in the day. But they
Okay.
obviously they always praised the visual effects, like it was a huge
Yeah.
deal.
Hmm.
But this one, it just looks like they're going back to like the formula. They're not really doing anything new. It's like, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
watch it. I did see Dominion. I was going to see Dominion. They delayed it so long. I was like, I gotta go. Like, it's gonna be like literally almost like an hour and a half before they, because they showed like 15 minutes of previews, and then the movie
Right.
couldn't start, and then there was like a 10-minute delay. And
Mhm.
when they went back into the movie, instead of just showing the movie, because we'd
Mm.
already seen a shitload of preview. They played all the same commercials again. I'm like, oh no,
Wow.
this is taking forever. So I left. But I
Yeah.
think it was the first one I never saw in theaters, and
Mhm.
I don't know if I'll go see this one. I might. But those 3D glasses they give you in the fucking theater, dude, take them in the bathroom with some sanitization and clean it up before you put that on your face, because they give you those things. They're reused. And what they do is they
Uh-huh.
spray them and then they wipe them with a dirty cloth and they give them to
Oh
human
my god.
beings to put them on their face. I've noticed people who are like in the theater. I'm like, dude, you didn't go to the bathroom and clean those glasses. You got to. Like, you can't.
Yeah. You
This is
don't want to.
disgusting.
You don't.
People
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
realize they're reused like that.
Yeah. You don't want to take a. You don't want to take a black light to those things, do you?
No, I'm there with. I gotta sanitize. I'm like, I don't even like sitting in the movie theater chairs with like shorts on in this. I gotta have like a hoodie over. I don't like put my head, my bare head on the back of the thing. I just like, I know it's a dirty place, and
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you go into a theater, they didn't clean it up. They
Nope.
skipped over it or something. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
guess this one was neglect. You don't have enough employees or something. It's a
That.
hard
Yeah.
business to
That.
be in, I
That
guess.
one was neglected. Yeah.
Uh, Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park Rebirth, but the next one is Superman. James Gunn's Superman, dude. I've
Yeah.
never known what
I.
to think of this movie, but who knows?
I am. I am very, very, very excited for this movie. And look, I know I seem calm and collected, as I'm talking to you now, but in here, I'm jumping up and down like a little kid because I think that this movie is going to basically give people the Superman that they wanted in when it came to Zack Snyder's Superman film. And look, I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I love um, um, Zack Snyder's, take on the DCU and his whole thing. But clearly, that's not what the audience wanted, and what the type of Superman that the audience wanted, unfortunately, was a Superman that was light and bubbly, and uh, you know, just just brighter, I guess. And I think that for the most part, that's what James Gunn is going to bring us: a light, bubbly, fun Superman movie with some really, really, really fucked up villains.
And I think it will be just as divisive as Man of Steel was, where people are going to come out of it and say, "Yeah, it's great," and it is. It feels like you know how like back in the day when Superman was like very new, and the Fleischer cartoons, and it was still like a recent creation. They had the kind of 30s futurism, or
Uh-huh.
40s, 50s futurism.
Hmm.
Uh, that's what this movie looks like, but updated for the modern day. So like we're so far into our future now. It's like 2025 for Christ's sake. And like we're worried about AI and stuff, and we're in an age now where a film like this, as wacky as it looks in some parts and as ambitious and colorful and bright and bubbly or whatever, it it could be very entertaining. I just don't know because there's a lot of stuff going on in it, and you got the dog and Guy Gardner and these other hot girl, and
Hot Girl, Mr. Terrific,
it's
uh,
not a matter of uh,
Lex Luthor. A lot
so
of
many
people.
characters. It's like how who's gonna get? Will they just be peripheral characters that won't really mean much, or will they have something directly to do? I'm sure there's a climax. I think the climax they keep showing in the trailer. I hope not. I hope a lot of what they show in the trailers is early stuff.
I think a lot of what they show in the trailer is actually the first act of the film. I think what they show in the first part in the first parts of the movie in the first parts of the movie is what creates the conundrum for Superman throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah,
But who knows?
I've been watching too many clips. I gotta stop. I don't want
Yeah.
to know too much anymore.
Yeah.
Um, so any TV shows that stand out to you this year? Uh,
Um. Shit. Well.
what about
I.
this one?
Oh.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it, and you know what? I need to apologize because Andor season one was not my bag, but I really, really, really enjoyed season two, and it makes Star Wars Rogue One so much better, and it makes it hurt so much more.
Yeah, it
Uh,
makes Strange New Worlds look like Kevin Spencer.
yeah, yeah,
That's such an obscure reference. I don't know if anybody would get that, but
yeah. But yeah, but Andor was definitely a experience that I look forward to experiencing again, maybe in like maybe 5 or 6 years, because Andor was really thought provoking. Star Wars written by a master of his craft, in Tony Gilroy.
Tony Gilroy, the showrunner, developed these 24 episodes over 2 seasons, which is a prequel to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope,
Yep.
but also a direct prequel to Rogue One, which is
Mm.
so it's like when they announced it, it's like the prequel to the prequel. I don't know about that, but then I don't know. It's good. It's so good. It's masterful, and for anybody who hasn't seen it, there is stuff to spoil. Uh, but you kind of where it goes. I mean, that's the beauty of a well written show. It's like people are like, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to see the sequel. I don't want to see the prequel because I know where everybody ends up. Well, not necessarily in this one, because
Nope.
there are characters who aren't in Rogue One or A New Hope, and you don't know if they go on or not, and some
Right.
don't, and some do.
Mhm.
Cassian Andor, played by Diego Luna. Uh,
Yeah.
who would have thought that he would
Yeah.
be
Who
like
would have
such
thought?
a like it would become like the main character in the best Star Wars show that they produced so far.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Why
he
aren't
was.
they using Blueprint?
Uh, I, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think that, Star Wars, like Star Trek, is in a conundrum because there hasn't been an actual Star Wars movie in theaters in what, like 7 years. Uh, and I think that
I think 40. Oh
40
no,
something.
there hasn't been a good Star Wars movie in 42 years.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I don't know. The sequel trilogy was okay to watch at the time, but they're not. It's not worth going back to.
not so great.
The prequels are more is have retroactively become more interesting. Just a
Mhm.
view, not even as like lovable stuff. Like I love the prequels. It's like, well, this is at least more dynamic and interesting and bolder.
Right.
then you know I don't mind the
Yeah.
Last Jedi or the Force Awakens. I know the Rise of Skywalker is schlock at its
I agree.
finest, but I first time I watched, it, I was like, I don't really care anymore. So
Mm.
like, okay, you gave me some like interesting stuff to look at for a couple hours. I'm not necessarily gonna. I'll watch the Last Jedi before anything else, even
Yeah.
though Luke Skywalker kind of sucks in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of.
You know what? Yeah. You know what? I'll actually watch uh Star Wars: The Force Awakens because I'm a huge fan of that, but I'm biased because it's JJ. But that film, when it was coming out, worked so well for me on so many levels.
Um, what else came out in TV? Not I can't really. I
Uh,
know Rescue High Surf was a show that I watched that got canceled. Suits LA I was gonna watch, but I didn't really get into it. With the
if
White
you
Lotus third season
yeah
came out. I don't know if
yeah
you saw that.
if no if you like medical dramas in the Ryan Murphy sort of mindset, I would recommend Doctor Oz. It's a medical show on a cruise ship with Joshua Jackson. Unfortunately,
Doctor Oz.
no, I'm sorry. Uh,
I was gonna
uh,
say like what
whoa,
that
whoa,
that con
oh,
artist.
whoa. Doctor Odyssey. Thank you so much, PJ, for that.
Yes, yeah. I did not watch that.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, I believe it got canceled by ABC. But if you like medical dramas and you want to see a unique, fun take on the medical drama by Ryan Murphy and all his great writers, I strongly recommend that series. And of course, a recent series that's not getting enough love on TV, unfortunately, is the series Duster, created by
Oh,
co-created by J.J. Abrams and Latoya Morgan. It's a really, really, really great throwback series about a getaway driver in the 70s trying to unravel this this giant plot that involves so many levels of government. And actually, it is it's loosely based on the first ever black woman in the FBI in the 70s.
I did watch the first half of the first episode, the beginning of the very beginning of the show with the trying to get the thing to the doctor, the
Oh yeah,
heart. He has a
the
heart or
heart. Yeah,
something.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like whoa, okay, this
yeah.
seems a bit out there. I didn't get around to watching that because I was watching like the White Daredevil.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
disappointment that
What?
it was. Oh, I didn't like it.
Uh,
No,
yeah. Daredevil. You know what? I'm serious. I don't know how I feel about Daredevil. I'm serious.
I found it was gratuitous. Like when there's some vibe. I mean, I don't know how the Punisher is going to be in this Spider-Man movie after what he did in that season. I
They're
mean,
gonna have to tone him
he's
down a lot.
blowing people's faces off. I mean, it it's like I understand they try to emulate the seriousness and the violence and the darkness of the Netflix series. They did not succeed, my friend. They made it awkward
Yeah.
and too talky. And this showrunner was like, no, less talk, more action. I'm like, I don't know about that. I
Hmm.
mean, at least in the Netflix series, when people talk for extended periods of time, it wasn't like modern schlock. I find, I don't know if they said this in Daredevil, but I find, and I've said this before, a certain age of the writer or the writers,
Mhm.
if they're like young millennials or like Gen X maybe coming up,
Yeah. By the way, they write. Yeah.
uh, by the term "you got this" or some variation. And
Oh.
keep this in mind in everything you watch in modern day. And now that
Uh,
I've said it, you will recognize it. And I've said this before. Everybody in every show in the
said it.
modern day, and they said it back in older shows, but very rare. It was very not nearly as much, but in everything, you got this, I've got this, we've got this. It's another way of saying you can do this or I got you. is what they used to, you know. It's just
Right,
a
right, right.
modern way of saying that. I'm
Mhm.
not saying it's a wrong thing to say. I'm just saying the use of that phrase,
Right.
I've got this, you've got this. Everybody's got somebody. In modern
It drives
things,
me
people
nuts.
people people have got each other, they've got themselves, they have things, they've got people. They've always got
Right.
something.
Right.
So so keep anybody who's listening, you're not gonna not hear it now.
No, you're
Now
not.
that
Definitely, definitely
you
not.
listen to me, and you're not gonna not hear it. You're gonna be like, guess what show doesn't say that? And I
What?
don't. I could be wrong. They probably say it once. No, they do.
Oh.
They say it once in the Andor series when he's
Oh.
got when he's in a Tie Fighter. He says, "I've got this," or if he
Yeah.
says to him, he says to himself, "You've
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
this."
You got this. Good God.
I'm like, ah, you see, even in, I'm not saying it's a sign of a
Mm.
bad writer or a bad. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying you will see it in everything, and that's a sign of some a writer who's not old.
Yeah.
We're not old
Yep.
yet, anyway.
No, not yet. Not yet. We're not old yet.
But
Not old yet.
Reacher season 3, you ever watch Reacher?
I did. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it
Filmed in
was
my
it was
city. A lot of that was filmed in my city.
oh
It's
cool.
great. It's crazy because it's crazy how they film shit because they're
Yeah.
walking in my downtown area, like literally 10 minutes away from me, or a 10 minute
Wow.
walk away from me,
Right.
and they're doing all these locations, like walking up around the Tim Hortons on Duckworth Street and like all this stuff. And then when they turn a corner, literally in the United States, it's it, my city doubles for someplace in Massachusetts,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's
and
yeah.
the woman has a very strong Boston accent. She's walking around like a Canadian Irish kind of place, but when
Mhm.
they turn the corner, they're literally in another
It-
country.
yeah.
And
That's
it's
pretty cool,
crazy
right?
how filmmaking works because it's like
Editing.
the town in Jack Reacher season 3 is two places. It's St. John's and someplace in
Oh wow.
actual uh, Maine or somewhere.
No, but actually, I forgot about Reacher season 3 being in this year. I totally there's a there's a lot of stuff out there, guys. A lot of stuff.
Not as good as the pre. It's the weakest season I found. It's a lot of weird.
Eh, a lot of weird stuff. I mean,
Season 2 was good. I like season 2
yeah,
the best.
yeah. I mean, the best season to me will always be the first season. I really, really, really enjoyed the first season. I liked um I liked Reacher dealing with like the 7-foot villain from one of his best novels. I thought that was really, really cool. I liked the inclusion of Neely a little bit more, and potentially going into a spin-off of um of her whole deal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it could happen because the viewing numbers on Reach are really good. So, I mean,
yeah,
they already made a spin off of The Boys, which is coming. The second season's coming out this year, but uh, they're doing a
yeah,
season 4 of I forget the name of the book they said season 4 is based off of, but fans are excited about it.
yeah.
Uh,
Oh, uh, I need to mention this before we go because you've actually told me several times to watch this show, but I don't think I've mentioned it on air. I made it through the pit.
oh, The
Uh,
Pit,
yeah,
yes,
it was. It was.
second best show. I would put Andor at the very top. Number
Yeah,
2 would be The Pit.
yeah.
It is exhilarating to watch, dude,
It
and it is
was.
such a bingeable series.
Yeah,
If you didn't wait
it is.
a week, I watched it after it was all said and done. Actually, I
Mhm.
watched it before I had to wait a couple of days for the last episode because I binged it up till the very. But every
Right.
episode is an hour of that day,
Mhm.
and you go through I
What
think 12 hours, 12, 14
12
hour. I
hours.
don't know.
No. I think you go through like a 14-hour shift. But I watched it
Yeah,
through the course of like 2 days, and it was just, oh my god, it was so
it's good to see Issa
visceral.
Briones from Picard get good work,
Yeah,
and she's very
but
good in the show too.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Everybody's good. Everybody's good.
yeah,
Noah
yeah,
Wiley and yeah.
yeah, yep. Yeah.
And that running
That's
joke where the guy has to keep getting scrubs,
Oh yeah.
I was like, they keep doing this, I'm gonna get really tired of it. And they stopped doing it. I'm like, wow, they know when to quit. They actually know
They
when
know when to quit.
they know when it's enough and when to bring it back later or something like that. But
Yeah, yeah. They definitely know when to quit. But
great, great freaking series. The Handmaid's Tale ended on like a whimper. What a worst season of the show, hands down. Like
yeah.
what
I
ended
I
on a
had
whimper.
yeah. I never saw that show because I'm very concerned for my mental health. So that's why.
Uh, Paramount Plus had a very interesting show called Happy Face, but I don't know how to feel about it. They're hinting at a season two. I'm like, it's based on a true story, but very loosely about this Canadian killer, and
Uh,
he outs his daughter. His daughter's living in secret. Like, she's keeps the fact that her father's this famous serial killer a secret, and he outs her.
right. Hmm.
And there's a whole thing that happens after that. It's I don't know. It was
Right.
okay. Paramount Plus has a lot of good shows, but all the
Yeah.
best ones are produced by Taylor Sheridan.
Taylor Sheridan.
Landman,
Yep.
Yellowstone,
Yellowstone.
Linus,
Linus.
1923,
1980,
1883.
1883.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
1923 had its conclusion this year,
y-
which was fucking
yeah,
intense
which was like yeah.
and
Watch.
kind of dreadful, dude.
Yeah. Watch the Dutton stand in line for 4 episodes. Uh,
Dude, Timothy Dalton's villainous character is one of the most despicable, and like so much focus on him. I'm like, I don't want to see any more scenes with this. Just somebody kill him already. Like
yeah,
he's a sadist. He's a sadist, right?
he's a
And he does
sadist. Yeah,
off. He turns. His whole fucking kink is breaking women down and turning them into and
sadist. Yeah,
it's there's a lot of 1923 out of all those shows goes the hardest, man, with like
yeah, it does.
abuse, and it really pulls no punches. And 1883 was
Hmm.
also very brutal and like very matter of fact about how like, oh, this guy's got an infection in his leg. Well, he's gonna die if he doesn't get it sawed off.
Oh
And
my
the
god.
most you can do is give him some liquor, like while you're. It's like that kind of thing. It's like, wow, hard times, man,
Yeah, yeah.
getting across
Hardcore
America.
shit, man. Hardcore shit.
The Bondsman, which was some not Kevin Spacey, Kevin Bacon show,
I have not
came
seen
and
that.
went on. Nobody watched it. It got canceled right away. The Baldwins had a reality TV show this year, which, ugh,
I did not.
ugh, oh, I don't have anything against Alec Baldwin, but God, his
That
family
one
life
hurt.
is not interesting. I'm like, why am I? Oh yeah, his wife is hot. That's why I'm watching. And I'm like, but everything else is so annoying. I had to quit on that one.
Okay.
Uh, Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you ever watched that. That show's
Uh,
going down the fucking toilet,
yeah.
man.
I like I've seen the first season, but I haven't seen season two.
Um, Dexter had a spin-off this year called Original Sin. On top of the fact that they're doing another Dexterverse show upcoming called Dexter Resurrection.
Hmm.
So this guy who's playing Dexter, he's also the new Bond in the video game.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
new
yeah, yeah,
Bond
yeah.
coming
Yeah,
out
I
in
heard that.
2026.
I heard that. Yep.
I was like, why not just cast him as Bond? But that would conflict, I suppose, with what they're doing in
Yeah.
that world. Tom
Yeah.
Holland
Well,
might get it.
yeah. According to some sources, yeah, Tom Holland might get it.
I'm
Listen,
Peter Parker.
yeah, listen, I am a huge fan of Denis Villeneuve, but I'm very interested to see what kind of Bond he's going to bring to the table. I think that he's going to harken back to the Bonds that I grew up with. Maybe Pierce Brosnan Bond, with a little bit of Timothy Dalton in there, to to just for just some spice. But to me, like to me, everything starts and stops with the writing. So I'm very interested to see who Denis is going to get to come and write this film with him. I think that a good choice would be his frequent collaborator, John Spates. He wrote Dune with him. So I think that would be a very, very interesting um,
What
choice to write Bond.
Harris Dickinson? I'm like, he looks like a young Bond type, and I was
Uh,
surprised that he's like in the top three running. It's him, Harris Dickinson, Tom Holland, and who's the other guy?
uh, uh, who? Joel. I mean, this was like a while ago, but I was Joel Edgerton. I don't know.
Actors in the
I'm not.
running for Bond. No, they announced like three guys who were like the top three.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
Jacob Elordi. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jacob Elordi. Yeah.
A lot of people wanted him for Superman, but he's like way too tall.
Mm-hmm.
He's like too tall.
Too tall. Too tall.
He's too tall.
Too tall. Yep.
Too tall. By the way, I
Too.
think Nicholas Holt is an interesting choice as Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he's gonna be
He
very, very.
auditioned to play Superman, you know,
Yep.
and Batman.
Yep.
And he
But he
ended up
finally
getting
got one.
He got Lex Luthor.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting year for movies
Yes, it
coming
is.
ahead.
Yeah.
I am interested next month. There's a couple of shows coming out. What is it? King of the Hill, the reboot. I don't know if you're a fan of that show.
Yep.
Season 11. They're going to age the
Yeah.
characters up like 15 years or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm. Yeah.
Alien Earth.
I'm very. Yeah. Well, I'm very, very excited for King of the Hill, but what I'm more excited for is Alien Earth. I'm a huge Alien fan, and I've become uh I become more of an Alien fan over the past couple of years, but I'm really, really interested to see. I'm interested to see Noah Hawley's take on it, because Noah Hawley as a storyteller to me is hit and miss, but when he hits, he hits. Um,
Yeah.
like with some Fargo seasons. The one thing that Noah Hawley did that I didn't really connect with is that X-Men series that he did on Fox, X-Men Legion or whatever the hell it was. I
I
didn't really connect with that,
X-Men
but
Legion. Never
yeah,
X-Men Legion. Never
yeah,
heard of
no,
it.
he did a oh,
X-Men Legion.
no, it's not X-Men
Oh,
Legion.
Legion. Yes, the
X-Men,
FX series. Okay.
yeah, Legion. I'm
It
sorry.
confused me because it wasn't called. Yeah, okay, yeah. The Professor X's son and all that crap.
Yeah. No,
That was
but
really
I'm
out there.
no, but the thing that I'm most excited about with Alien Earth is that we're gonna see the birth of a Wayland robot. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Yeah, the trailer looks interesting. It looks like a big budget TV series, what you would expect. It doesn't look like cheapened out. It
Mm-hmm.
looks like they're Romulus was really well made.
It was great. I love that movie.
So like they're
I
keeping
own
up with
them.
the quality, it seems, in that franchise. At least the visual
Yeah,
quality, anyway.
yeah, they are definitely so.
One more thing that's coming out in August, and I think we'll leave it at that because there's not much after that. That like Mortal Kombat 2 and like stuff like that. That's they don't even have trailers for that yet. But the last thing I want to get into is Peacemaker. Right before we go, Peacemaker season 2 is going to probably explain the discontinuity between the old universe and the new, perhaps because
Probably.
it is the show that's carrying over from one universe to the next. It was a DCEU series, but now instead of the second season, it is a DCU series with actual characters from freaking Superman. Superman's going to come out in July, and while it's still presumably going to be in theaters in some capacity, Peacemaker will come out with Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl's in there. James Gunn teased a huge cameo. I think Henry Cornsweet. Is that his name?
Yes, corn sweat.
David,
Yep.
no, David Cornsweet. Sorry, I was thinking Henry Cavill.
Oh,
Dave,
yeah. David
David
Corn.
Cornsweet might show up as Superman,
That's interesting. That's
but
very
now
interesting. Look,
Jason Momoa went from being Aquaman in season 1
to
to
Lobo now.
potentially showing up as Lobo in season. Crazy.
Yeah, look, I'm intrigued with Peacemaker season 2 because I liked Peacemaker season 1. I wasn't so obsessed with it as everybody else was, but I really, really liked it, and I'm interested to see how James is gonna explain the continuity thing. But listen, at this
Dude, it was
point,
it was a fun ride. It was like a very dynamic, like action
yeah,
packed show.
yeah.
Not
Vigilante was
always
great.
funny though, but still
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Eagle was great.
Eagerly.
Uh, Eagly was great. Um, uh, James Gunn's better half, she was great. She's one of my favorites. Yeah,
Robert Patrick is his father too, and the
yeah, yeah.
vigilante,
Hmm.
and all the ancillary characters are fine as well.
Yep, great. Yeah,
All right, well, I'm sure there's probably a lot more we
love
didn't
we missed.
touch
Yeah.
on, but there's so much this year. A lot of it mid-level, a lot of it very good. Let's hope it continues.
Yeah,
For one thing, we're not going to get something as good as Andor for the rest of the year. That's just not going to happen. Andor was, in my opinion, the best show of 2023 and 2025. The Pit, a close second. Can't wait to see the second season of The Pit, which I believe they are filming. So there you go.
yeah. We're gonna get the second season of the Pit next year by this point because I think they are filming that.
Yeah, they. It's a good thing that they want to get seasons out yearly because people are getting sick of
2 year
the
wait.
two or 3 year wait. Which all
Mhm.
started with really started with Sopranos back in the day. Sopranos was the first show that was so good
Yep, they
that they're
split
like,
it.
we need time. We need
We
time.
need
And
time.
there was
Yeah.
actually like long, very long gaps between some of those seasons.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for joining me, Marcelo. It's been so much fun.
No,
We
thank
should
you.
do this. We should do this in another 6 months.
Yeah. No, it's been it's been a pleasure being here, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. If you reached this point in the video, God bless, because nobody really does. But we could say anything right now. It wouldn't matter. No, okay. Live long and prosper.